Here's a list of underrated shows that you might have overlooked but you need to binge. First on the list for me is Suits. Suits is probably a show I've overlooked for like majority of my life, but when it got put on Netflix, I have been addicted ever since. It has 9 total seasons, and just every season just kind of like hits differently. I don't know what it is about this cast. Some of the things that happen are just like, you just want to step into the screen and like shake them. But overall, the storytelling is really top tier. Something about Suits is not like as generic as every other like law-based show. This show has something kind of unique to it. The characters are really true to themselves in it, and I really love this series. Next on the list for me is Army Wives. If you know, you absolutely know. Army Wives is one of those shows that I know many of us probably just thought it was just some Lifetime show that didn't even like hold weight, but this was a great series. The show's premise surrounds around these women and how they're like navigating lives as being the wives of men in the army. Some of them who are actually in the army, we're seeing them dealing with infidelity, with dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, dealing with everything that comes with this lifestyle. I don't know what it is about this series, but the first 4 seasons had me on such a serious chokehold. If you're one of those people that has constantly overlooked this series, definitely give it a try. Next on the list for me is Ugly Betty, which is probably one of my favorite series of all time. The casting in this show, every single time I see these characters in anything else, I just think of Ugly Betty. The show's premise pretty much follows Betty, who is a young Latina girl who comes from a low-income family. She gets put in a position where she gets a job as an assistant for a high-fashion magazine, despite not qualifying based on her looks. Ugly Betty found the perfect blend between drama, mystery, and comedy. Like, they blended it so perfectly and it lied in the characters because I truly think that's who they were deep down. It's an amazing series. If you haven't seen it, it's now on Netflix and I definitely recommend it for the binge. Next on the list for me is Greek. Greek is one of those series that if you're looking for like young people just trying to navigate their life and their love life and school and figuring out who they are, this is the series. This is a series that I know was overlooked by so many because it was on ABC Family, but it truly had a storyline in it. I was so captivated by Cappy and Cassie's love relationship. You are going to love this series if you give it a try. And last but not least for me is The Good Wife. The Good Wife for me is definitely one of those shows that deserves way more flowers than it actually receives. The show's premise pretty much follows a woman who puts her career to the side to be like pretty much her husband's trophy wife as he goes through his political career. Eventually, he becomes involved in a huge scandal that puts their marriage in jeopardy and forces her to rethink all her decisions and allows her to go back to her career as a defense attorney. I really love this series. I love the way that she really just felt like a powerful woman in the decisions that she made for herself. This is definitely one of those series that you'll like if you like Suits.